Chance here for Jacobo, sends it across to Najib Omar, and the freshman gets his first goal of the season, and look at that, a little bit of parkour mixed in. Loose ball is not handled, and it's capitalized on by the Islanders.
Islander goal by number 5, 6, Moses Jacobo.
You saw Najib Omar with the chip in. Now probably should have been handled by Omar Garibo, but Moises Jacobo is the recipient of the good luck, and he buries it. Here comes Nolan Dillon. No one's stopping him. Dillon with the right foot, and just like that, the senior strikes on the counter, and the Tigers lead 2-1. Dumas comes out, loose ball, Omar turns, and he seals the game! The freshman with the brace. 57 seconds on the clock, and the Islanders take the 2-0 lead. And welcome back. It's time for soccer here on News Channel Nebraska and NCNSportsNow.com. Brandon Axmid alongside Abel Covarrubias. And we are getting ready to go. So Islanders 1-2, Abel. Not the start they wanted, coming off of 2 losses to Fremont and North Platte. You've had a chance to see it. We both have had a chance to see them, but what's going on with GI here early on?
Yeah, it's a difficult couple of losses coming off this early season. Thankfully enough, though, it is still early enough. Grand Island, coming into the season was seeing a huge transition from a very defensive team to a forward-driven team, changing up its lineup, packing that middle. So it's something different that they're working with, still trying to learn those, positions, new players and some new roles constantly. And so we haven't necessarily gave them enough time maybe to, rest in those positions, maybe allow themselves to get comfortable or anything like that. But again, thankfully it's still early in the season. They're going to see some harder competition as they keep coming along, so they need to kind of regroup. Tonight will be a great night to do that.
And Coach Jensen still moving some pieces around, trying to find just the right mix of players and midfielders and attackers. Now, he said after reviewing the film of that Fremont game, was not happy at all with the defensive effort. He said he had too many players freelancing, too many players not being disciplined. He said the wing back, or the wing position specifically, was not getting back to cover defensively, and when you only have 3 center backs, that is a very vital thing you need to do. So he said there was tons to work on between Thursday and today, and he's hoping that his boys will be able to figure it out.
No, absolutely true. That back there, those 3 back there need to be just a force to wreck with, right? They definitely need to kind of step up on those challenges, not allow any of those opponents to get behind them, because if they do, that's the end of the story, and that's exactly what we've seen in those first couple losses, out to North Platte, finding those counterattacks, pushing that ball forward. Same thing with Fremont. Dillon the other night just broke that defense by doing exactly that. And so that is something they're going to have to figure out very early on.
You see early opportunities for the Tigers, a corner kick less than a minute in. GI deals with it though, and now a chance for a counter. You have Najib Omar running on as Covarrubias keeps it. He's still going. And that ball goes out of bounds. You saw Najib a little bit frustrated, but Covarrubias was cutting right through the defense.
That's also another problem that this Islander team is having is communication. Najib was wide open. Brian himself was carrying that ball from midfield. Whether he saw him or not, I don't know. He was wide open, but again, we didn't see much action from Najib asking for that ball.
And Coach Jeremy Jensen pretty much getting after everybody. He said something else that he was not pleased with was the set pieces. Now, we saw Fremont score in the 3rd minute, but he didn't feel the wall was being set up properly, or if the wall was being set up properly, the goalkeeping position wasn't set up properly. That's Justin Oregon now. And Coach Jensen has him on notice. He's a kind of no-nonsense type of guy. If Oregon concedes a free kick, now not a penalty kick, but a free kick, he's going to lose his starting spot. That was straight from Coach Jensen's mouth. He just has not been pleased with a lot of different things, and he's hoping that some tough love might be what this Islander team needs early on in the season.
It'll definitely scare him a little bit, right? It's been a while, a couple games now that Oregon back there hasn't had a clean sheet. It's always great to have a clean sheet on your record, especially when you're a goalie. Later on, we're going to have some bigger, tougher matches, and those clean sheets are definitely come in handy. So, good to Coach Jensen, getting them scared early, getting them to know that his position isn't solidified. He needs to compete day in and day out for that.
You see the throw-in go to Omar. He drops it off. Headed away. Now Hastings started this season 2-0. Now they're coming off 2 losses. Another flick to Omar as he's running on. And they're looking to bounce back as well. Started off the year with victories over Holdridge and Norfolk, both of those 2-1 wins. But they've fallen to Lincoln North Star, and they're coming off a tough loss up to Norfolk, where they lost to Lutheran High Norfolk Catholic 2-1. And talking to Coach Daniel Hawker, he said, it felt like we just didn't get off the bus. It's a long road trip. It was cold. And before you know it, we're down 2-1 in the opening half. And he said why they got the things going on better in that last 40 minutes, the deficit was too big. Obviously, a strong start is pretty vital in soccer, and that's what he thought the difference was in their most recent loss on Saturday. You ever have to make that trip to Norfolk?
Not recently, no. We do have some club competitions, things like that, but never up to Norfolk. I think the closest we might get up that north is Fremont, and that's still not even far enough.
Now, the big thing for this Hastings Tigers team was start solid and start strong. Now, talking to Coach Hawker, his back line is the most experienced group on the field between strikers, midfielders, and defenders. He loves what he has in terms of experience and skill on that back four. Free-flowing game, though, here early on. A lot of space to attack and counterattack for both teams. Mendez battling. And Omar's going to run on. Can't quite get there, but we saw him not get the start against Fremont, battling a little bit of a leg issue. Seems to be all right, though. It didn't seem to bother him much in that Fremont game either.
No, not at all. He was still accelerating like per usual. Najib out there, tonight, not any different. We'll hopefully see him on some great breakaway runs tonight.
See Covarrubias have a crack from 25 yards out. That was well over. Brian, number 9, the attacking midfielder, a captain on this team alongside Fidel Garcia. And right now, the other storyline for the Islanders is just finding that end product. They create plenty of opportunities, or have been. It's just putting it in the back of the net as Hastings tries to spring an attack here.
I definitely agree there. The defense has been kind of struggling, but, that offense hasn't been perfect either. They are, like you said, creating those opportunities, but there are hardly any goals that have been conceded through those. A lot of those coming in through the box. I feel like Islanders themselves want to carry that all the way up into the goal line.
And along with that new formation, that was something Coach Jensen was hoping to eliminate too. A little bit more selfish player, at least selfish when you need to be. He said, take shots from far out. And, there always is going to be that learning curve when you're switching formation and you're switching philosophy of play. And that's what we're seeing here. I feel like some growing pains, but ultimately he knows that this is going to be the best way to play with this group of players. They have a lot of attacking-minded talent on this team that create a lot. So Coach Jensen's just hoping it all comes together, because when he does, he knows it'll be something special.
No, we just got to get some of these players to taste that goal, to feel what it feels like, to celebrate one of those guys, and they'll keep wanting more and more.
See, Marco Palillo switched from the left back to the right back there. At least he was starting on the right back. They got him back over on the left. He had the tough task of dealing with Nolan Dillon, and that maybe is another issue right now that the Islanders are trying to figure out. Who is that go-to guy? I mean, you have Orozco with a goal, you have Castillo with a goal, Montiel with a goal, and Gomez Jr. with a goal. They're all with one. And when you go against the Fremont team, you have Nolan Dillon. He's the star. He's going to be scoring those goals. He has 6+. He scored 2 against GI, and maybe that's part of the identity, too. The Islanders are looking for that guy that they can get it to take over on a game offensively and get him a winner.
Yes, we need that player, that playmaker that is just going to take that game to the next level, take the Islanders to the next level, get those energy levels back up as well. We haven't yet seen that. Like I said, we haven't really seen something special goal-wise from the Islanders as well, which is, something we hope to see tonight. It's usually been just tracking that ball down in the backfield, chasing it down on those breakaway runs, and trying to get that goalkeeper one-on-one. But I'd like to see something out of the 18 eventually.
Tigers with plenty of talent on their side of the ball. Now they went 4-12 last year, as you see a shot off the volley going wide. Before that, they made it to state and were knocked out in the first round by Lexington. They had a lot of turnover in terms of graduation and lost quite a bit of seniors. So this year, they're a little bit reloaded, and they're hoping to get to that sub-state, to get back to state potentially. Coach Hawker feels the Tigers have the talent to do it. Najib Omar is released. As you see the keeper coming out and DL Dumas making the save. Now that's something else to keep an eye on. Dumas is currently starting in goal, but he is starting by way of default. Bailey Gregg actually was the starter last year, wasn't able to play the first 3 games. And so Dumas has stepped in and he's made the most of the opportunity. He had a PK save against Holdridge in the final 5 minutes when Hastings was leading 2-1, so virtually won them the game. Coach Hawker was very pleased with what he saw from his senior keeper. Ani Ortega clearing that one there, a player that can seemingly play anywhere. He started the season starting up top. He keeps moving back. He was midfield last game, and now he's on that back line.
Ani's just one of those players that has that acceleration, that speed, but also that physicality. He's definitely one of those players where you can kind of put around where you need that spot filled, and he's definitely one of those players that'll do the job for you. He's nothing short of a hard-working player. He'll go after that ball, chase it down whenever possible.
Strong slide tackle goes in. Hastings wins it back. Tigers with an opportunity here. Shot deflected. And Oregon clears it away. Looks like it'll be a throw-in. And you see the tackle here by Javi Casanova. Winning the ball, carrying it forward, and creating an opportunity. Volley goes in and deflected. That had some power behind it. Now, Javi Casanova, foreign exchange student from Spain, and he is the leading goal scorer for this Tigers team. Not bad when you get somebody like that who could come in. 3 goals to his name as a senior. And the best foot skill player on this team, according to Daniel Hawker. Another chance run on here for the Islanders. A chip shot is up, and it's a goal. Is it onside? Are they blowing it off? And he was offside.
Yeah, Moses was just offside, and just talking about getting that spectacular goal outside the 18, and that would have been it right there. But that is also something these Islanders have been struggling quite a bit with. Are those offsides? Finding their position, knowing where the back line is. Man, if he would have been just 2 feet on the other side of that would have been just something amazing.
Moises Jacobo showing that he can pull out the chip shot. Unfortunately for him, didn't count there, but never know what kind of momentum that could create.